Hey guys, Agent here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Fortnite Battle Royale, a new game on the block that is really popular and a game that I've had a blast playing, and we're going to be talking about its future in esports and what it needs to do to fix its problems and make it big as an esport. So, first of all, what is an esport? An esport is driven by its community and driven by its viewers, and this is very important because without viewers you don't get sponsorships, you don't get viewership deals, because that's what sponsors and broadcast sites want. They want viewers because that means they can promote their brand and promote their website. So by not having viewers, then it's a bit of a disaster for an esport because it's just not going to go anywhere and you're not going to get any money. So why is Fortnite not particularly watchable right now? So there are many different reasons. The first one is that it's inherently bad from the get-go because it's a battle royale, and battle royales are the hardest games to spectate, pretty much. There's no other game genre that's harder to spectate than battle royales because of how huge the map is, how many players there are. You just can't catch all the action in the broadcast. Yeah, this makes it worse to watch because say you want to watch your favorite pro player, but you can't because they're spectating someone else and your favorite pro player dies. But you want to know how, but you can't because there are 100 other players on the map having fights. This is a problem with battle royale game modes. It's a problem that PUBG's faced. But PUBG also has some other things that help it out that Fortnite is not really well done with. So that's the first main point. Battle Royale is very difficult to spectate just because of so much action goes on. So what's my second point is that it's a colourful cartoony game, and this isn't a bad thing. Fortnite is aimed for kids and aimed for kind of teenagers and young people. It's not really aimed for a higher like mid-20s, mid-30s audience. This means it's colourful, it's cartoony, it's funny to watch, but it also adds a lot of particle effects and a lot of visual clutter. And this isn't a very good thing because it takes away from the gameplay and it makes it much more difficult to watch. Take an example, Overwatch. Overwatch is very difficult to watch because of just how many particle effects there are. It's often at times you have no clue what's going on the screen because of the amount of abilities that are being used, which creates so many particle effects. And Fortnite will be very similar. Like you have rocket launches, you have missiles, you have breaking things, you have building things, you have AR shots, you have shotgun shots. It's very difficult to keep track of everything, and this means that, of course, is going to have a hard time somebody watching it as an esport because you just can't keep track of everything. So yeah, so that's my second point. My third point is building. Building in a game is an inherently difficult thing to deal with in an esport because you're going to have huge build fights that are very hard to keep track of. You can't have an outside spectator view because you can't see the players then, and having an inside spectator view means that you're jumping around everywhere and it's very confusing to keep track of where you are. And you've probably been in a build fight before if you're watching this, and you barely know what's going on. You're just kind of building, hoping to get a good angle on them, let alone watching someone else do it. So it's very difficult, and as well as that, building presents another problem in that cover is made, not used by the map. So in PUBG is a very different game to Fortnite in this respect because you can't build in PUBG. This means that you have to hold corners, and there's a lot of camping that goes on PUBG, and it's a very much slower game than Fortnite. And you have to hold corners, you have to stay behind walls, stay behind cover, all that sort of things, because you can, and because there's no building, you have to, and this slows the game down a lot, which means that it's much easier to spectate because you can just have an outside view, watch the players, what they're doing, and when action starts, quickly switch to players. In Fortnite, the action goes on for a long time because of these build fights that happen, and it's much harder to watch because it's not as static. As well as that, PUBG, you have to use cover that's already there, whereas Fortnite, you make your own cover, which means that you can have the perfect angle for spectating, but it's blocked by someone's cover, and then you're in a bit of trouble for Fortnite, whereas for PUBG, I bet you they have hundreds of angles around the map, where they have set up spectator cams to use, which hold the most, which show the most amount of space where people would be. So another point is repetition. Fortnite as a game to watch isn't particularly as fun as a game to play. When you're playing the game, you're thinking of all new strats, you're in a new place, you're fighting new people, and you got to do it all. But when you get into big build fights over and over again, it's tiring to play, and it's also very boring to watch, sort of. The first few times are really cool. You see your first build fight, you're like, oh my god, I want to be like this guy. He built everywhere and he won the fight, and oh wow. But After a while, you've seen loads and loads of build fights. It gets repetitive because all you're doing is going upwards to try and get to the highest ground and win the fight. And this isn't like your games that you play every day and you have 1 or 2 build fights per game. This is going to be a build fight for every single fight that goes massively because of how good the players have to be to get into the esport. The build fights that are going to happen in this game are going to be every single one, so there are going to be hundreds that go on through the entire game, and it's going to be a lot of very fast paced, very quick. You're gonna not really know what's happening, and this gets repetitive quick, and repetition turns people away from the game because you don't want to watch the same thing happen over and over again. So they're my 4 main points. I've got a 5th point that's kind of sort of related, not as much, and that's bloom in this game. Bloom is a factor where it adds an element of luck, and luck's not good in an esport because there's a lot riding on you being able to make the right play at the right time. Luck can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in esports because your AR shot didn't hit, which means you didn't die, which means you just lost the championship, which means you lost $100,000 because he won. Yeah, and because of AR bloom, for example, you can miss a shot like that very easily. The best players of Fortnite always do because you have no control over it, which means that you lose a game, you lose a lot of money because of luck. And that is a really bad feeling, and that's horrible. That's not a good thing to have in esport. Luck is never a good thing to have in esport. But that's just how it is right now. But I very much doubt that Fortnite is going to keep bloom. I think very soon we're going to see a transition to damage fall off and complete accurate weapons and less damage, because this will make the game much more skill based rather than luck based, which will attract more people in, which will make sure that the game doesn't feel bad when you missed all your AR shots because the blue made you miss all of them, and it also stops people from blaming bloom when they lose, because I mean I've seen plenty of people do this. They're just bad at aiming and they blame bloom. So it makes the entire game better, and I think they will do this very soon. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like down below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.